So here we go. The Tigers lose a heartbreaker right there. You know, we played a lot of good football early. There was a lot of things we can learn from. I think the thing in this game is you look back at it. Nussmeier played a heck of a game. We didn't have much of a running game early in the first half. We found uh, some of it in the third quarter, but you know, for the most part, for 4 quarters, it wasn't consistent there. Um, and then, you know, I'll pull up some of the stats here in a second, and I think that'll tell a lot. We'll go ahead and start with LSU. Nussmeier was 29 for 38 for 304 yards, 2 touchdowns. Emory got going there, like I said, in the third quarter, 10 for 61. He was 6.1 per attempt. Williams was 9 for 38. And then Jackson didn't do a whole lot, 6 for 18. And you look at it, you know, our receivers. Kyron Lacy started out on fire. We didn't find him much there in the second half. Madden, he had 7 receptions for 94 yards and a tud. Aaron Anderson 5 for 64 with a tud. Mason Taylor, you didn't hear Mason Taylor's name too much there in the second half, and I think that was a concerted effort by USC's coordinator. They wasn't going to let Mason Taylor beat him in that second half. Now let's flip. We'll go to USC.
QB's a baller, man.
Yeah, Moss, he played a heck of a game. Kid was 27 for 37 for 378 yards and a touchdown. When you give up 378 yards in the air, it's going to be hard to win football games, but the Tigers were in it, and they had a chance there at the end. Marks for them had 16 carries for 68 yards, so we kind of shut their running game down. They had some guys on their side of the ball, mainly one, Hudson, number 10 for them, had 2 catches that were unbelievable, and a big one there during that last drive. He had 5 for 83 yards. Branch is a playmaker. He made some yards there receiving, and he had some in a return game. He had 4 for 56. You look back at it, and I think it's going to kind of be the tale for the season of the Tigers. You know, you live by the blitz, you die by the blitz, and it was one thing that we had success with the blitz. But when you blitz so much, there's going to be opportunities if you're playing against a good quarterback that can read defenses, that he can look at, you know, safeties and see if they're backed up, if they're over the top of corners, and he knows where he's going with the football. And Moss definitely knew what he was going to do. Madden, what's your observation of the game?
Said when he would throw it up, we had too many penalties. Our DBs, whether it's pass interference or targeting at the end, it was way too many penalties.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, you know, we got some young guys there in the secondary. You got to learn to find the football, and you look, and they have some big receivers, guys 6'6". You know, and you got to find it. You got to be physical with them, and it comes down to the little details. You know, and you can see there, I thought that Coach Kelly, you know, it's tough to be a defensive coordinator under head coach, and, you know, you're a blitz guy and you blitz, and he's asking him, why are you blitzing in that situation? But that's what you've done all game.
He came down yelling at one of the coaches at one point.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And we had, and I'll tell you, one of the big plays there was on our last drive. Clock was running down. There was a little bit of confusion. Nuss tried to switch running backs. I don't know which running back was in, try to put him from the right side of formation to the left side of formation, and he also sent Lacy in motion, but then he tried to stop Lacy. And, you know, if you had an opportunity, again, and I'm sure Nuss will watch this film because he started to call timeout. He should have went ahead and called timeout, and then you at least give yourself an opportunity. But, you know, what a heartbreaker. You know, we've had this feeling before as Tiger fans. You know, you lose these openers, but you got to go play against some of the big boys. And I got a hat tip to Coach Lincoln Riley and the way he has that USC program looking, because, I mean, they were no slouch. They had players all over the field. So if anybody's there, I know this could be a tough one, and you can go back to Madden. We talked about it at the beginning. And it doesn't matter because they scored a touchdown there, but kicking the field goal early on that first drive as opposed to trying to go for the touchdown. Get this that Emory's going to out. We know we got a really good quarterback in Nussmeier. We got guys on the edges that can make plays. We just got to be able to get stops on defense.
With Hilton back, we'll have a better deep threat receiving game than.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think our offense is going to be fine. I think our offensive line, for the most part, played a really good game. And you look at a guy that's really good is Campbell, and it's hard to hear if you hadn't been in those situations with a crowd noise. It's loud. He had a penalty. He had 2 penalties in the game, but he's a heck of a player. We had too many pre-snap penalties. It's something you see a lot early in these football games. But when you're playing against a team that's a top 20 team in USC, in those situations, you can't have that. So, quick wrap up. But it's always tough. It's never a good feeling. Everybody has that feeling. You're sick to your stomach after the Tigers take a big loss like that. But to me, it looks like the Tigers are going to have a good team this year. It's going to be fun watching, seeing the adjustments they make, and hopefully we'll have a shot to go into the playoffs at the end of the year. What else you got, brother?
Hopefully Nuss stay on the right path and be the Heisman.
Be the Heisman. He's gonna have to have a lot of help now with a loss there, and they got some tough games coming up. But
JD
I
did
love
the same thing.
I'm with you. There you go. You're preaching now. So we'll go ahead. Got a couple things, y'all. After these tough losses by LSU, what I love most normally, because LSU plays on a Saturday, is
To watch the Saints lose on a Sunday.
to watch the Saints lose on a Sunday. And when I hate it when LSU loses, but when LSU loses and the Saints lose, you got to watch. There's people want to jump off the bridge, and the Falcons are going to be pretty good this year. So I don't want to pour too much salt on the wound, but we coming. Falcons, we coming. Y'all be ready for it. I hope Carr throws us a lot of picks this year. And also, y'all go check it out. We started a new thing on YouTube with Zachary Football. Go like and subscribe to the Zachary Football YouTube page. We have live video, and we're calling the games on Friday nights. So go check that one out. Make sure you go to all of our platforms: Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Snapchat, MySpace. You know what MySpace is? You know what that is? I don't even know what MySpace is.
Heard of it before.
But go like and subscribe on all of those. What are we saying back there? We got comments on Facebook. All right, let me check them out. Man, can you see them? All right, Ben said he would like to have seen us attack the middle of their zone more. We took zero shots on their defense. Let me see. Thought the defense did their job, gave us a real chance. I agree with you. And, there's a lot we can learn from this film. Most of our shots were, on the edges, on the sideline. I think one thing, and we tried to do it there in that last drive, until Nussmeier keeps one of those reads, they're not going to respect him as a threat, and they're going to keep closing. And what they kept doing is that backside end or that linebacker kept closing on those reads, and that just gives you an extra defender against the run. So Nussmeier at least needs to go put it on film that he will keep one of those reads if you don't respect it and if you don't see him as a threat. Rusty Fairchild, we gave up the big plays, had 2 chances to put it away in the 4th and didn't convert. I agree with you, Rusty. They too many big plays, and I think you're going to look up in a couple of years and you're going to see with Moss and with the receivers they had, those guys will be playing in the NFL. I mean, you don't go make plays like they did, and it's just luck. They got some players on their side of the ball, and I think one of the things that happened, we talked about it, I don't know if we did it pregame, and we talked about the first half. We talked about coaching adjustments in the second half, and I think it's clear to see. You look back at it, Lincoln Riley had a game plan in the game. He made some adjustments in that second half and kind of put us on our heels. So another hat tip to Lincoln Riley. He's a guy that, at Oklahoma, he did some really good things, went to USC the past year or two, and he hadn't really lived up to what they thought he would be. And you look and see what kind of offensive mind he has, and they really showed it tonight. Buster Bourgeois, one of my way back homies. O-line pass blocking was pretty good. Run blocking was was terrible. And Buster, I think I don't know about that because you look, and I think the reason why we didn't run as much early is because they were stacking the box. They were playing that bear defense, five covered up front. They were putting 9 in the box, and they were making us throw, and that's why we had stuff underneath early. I just don't think we had opportunities early to run the ball. Marty Broussard, you wrong, man. I can't say that. Kelly Walls had a rant today. He was at the beach, and somebody left dog crap on the beach, and he was ready to fight somebody. Marty said that's what makes him mad when people let dogs poop on the football field. Sorry about that, y'all. It's a little inside joke. What you shaking your head for? So we'll go ahead and wrap this one up. Y'all make sure you follow us this year. We're going to do some more videos, some more interviews. I'm going to try to get my guy Alan Fanek on here for we've already talked about a snapback with T-Mac. And, it'll be a good interview, getting the big dog on there. Number 66, another number 66. It was a really good lineman for the Tigers. So closing this one out, Falcons, I'm sorry. I'm used to saying that one. Tigers lose a heartbreaker, 27-20 in Vegas. Huh? Who you banning? All right, so we out. Madden, any closing thoughts?
Hopefully, we can be a little more happier on the next LSU game podcast, post game.
I hope so. Who we got next week?
I don't even
We
know.
got a Patsy. We better be happy next week.
Yeah.
All right, so for Madden McClure, for Todd McClure, Snapback with T-Mac, we out. What did he say?